Yes, everybody. Welcome back in the building. Happy Monday, you guys. I hope you all had a beautiful day. Beautiful day, even though what we will be talking about in this live primarily is around Florian Wirtz because I know so many have been wanting to hear updates. What's going on? It just feels like you know, this move has dragged on for a while. But, when you're going for record breaking deals, which is what this will go down, Florian Wirtz, the original asking price since the beginning from Leverkusen was 150 million euros. And, we've made what? I think this was a third bid and it was rejected. And this third bid, remember, was 100 million pounds up front, 13 million pounds in add ons. They've rejected that. And it seems like the fee that hopefully we'll agree on now, the next bid has to surely be the one that they accept, is around the 140 million euro mark, or around the region of 118 million pounds, which would be an all-time Premier League record transfer. The previous record was 115 million pounds, which was the fee for Caicedo. Unless we're telling Leverkusen, look, this is our last offer, take it or leave it, because we're the only club that's left. But what do you think? Joseph, yes, I've seen some of you guys say that, but what source are you linking that to? Because I'm waiting for a reliable source for the next bid, but I think that's what gets it done. In my opinion, if a 118 million pound bid comes in, for me that gets it done. But what do you guys think? Goal Rush TV, nice to see you in the building. A Reflex says, "Sup, Leo? Sorry, I've been stressing about this deal for so long now. It seems low-key unlikely now." So this is what I want to discuss. I see so many people in the comments, especially you guys know I also run Liverpool Goals. So when I posted that news yesterday, there were over 1,000 comments. Look, this is the one I'm referring to. Over 1,000 comments here, and when you read these comments, I'm telling you, they are so negative. They're so negative, which again, I can understand a kind of meltdown because it's true. We have PTSD from the Caicedo transfer. We have PTSD from the Lavia transfer, but this is different, you guys. The reason it's different is, like I have been saying the whole time, Leverkusen will want to sell this summer. Liverpool want to buy this summer, and Florian Wirtz only wants us. That was never the case with any of the previous PTSD moments we've had in the past, unless Real Madrid come last minute and decide to swoop in for this deal, which I'm telling you will not happen. The reason being, it's so much money, and it seems like they're looking for a different type of profile if they are to sign a midfielder this summer. So you know what I mean? Caden, the reliable sources, so from England, for me, the two most reliable, at least related to Liverpool, because, I've been in this game for so long. Like I said, I know basically all the journalists now. For me, it's Paul Joyce and David Ornstein. Those are the ones. So for you guys saying there's that new 118 million pound bid, I'm not so sure. I haven't seen that again from really reliable sources. But like I said, the reason why I am not stressed is because, like I said, every indication shows that he's just destined for Liverpool this summer. But it's just, for me, it's more so, it is a lot of money. And I just hope, and I don't think he has that type of personality, but I just hope the fact that he's this like record-breaking transfer doesn't add more pressure for him. You know what I mean? Because he's such a young, player, just turned 22. So I just hope that kind of pressure doesn't have an impact on him. You know what I mean? But I haven't seen what you guys are talking about, the 118 million pound bid. I'm going to have a look, but I haven't seen that personally. I haven't seen that unless it just happened now, but I don't believe we have. No. Yeah, we haven't. Nothing reliable enough, at least for me to trust it. And Oshiman, by the way, another thing too that we need to keep an eye out on is Darwin Núñez. We always thought he could potentially go to Saudi, but then Oshiman looked like he was going to Al Hilal, and now it looks like that's not going to happen because he rejected a bunch of personal terms offers in terms of big money to Saudi. It looks like he doesn't want to go to Saudi, so maybe it looks like Saudi now for a striker, they're either going to look for Darwin or Gyökeres, and yeah, if it ends up being Darwin, then I could see us making big money back, but damn, Dean, I don't like to hear you not being positive, who says, I don't think Leverkusen will sell to us. You really feel that way right now. If this doesn't happen this summer, he'll go elsewhere. Get it done, please, Liverpool, I beg you. Bro, I'm telling you. Will we get Wirtz? I'm telling you, I think we will. I'm seriously still. I'm completely confident that it gets done. The only thing is, like I said, it will cost so much for the football club that it's just going to be a lot of pressure for him. That's the only thing. Like, as much as you could say transfer fees don't matter that much, there is a pressure where for match week 1, he kind of has to perform. You know what I mean? Because we don't pay these kind of figures. We never do, So, yeah. Levy says, hello, Leo. I'm a City fan here. I wish you luck. Thank you, bro. Kaya, I met you at Anfield. Yes, nice to see you. Isn't Oshie at Galatasaray? No, he just went one season on loan, so now he's back at Napoli, and it doesn't seem like they want to keep him in Naples. So he's for sale this summer. And like I said, he rejected the Saudi offer, so it doesn't look like he's going to Saudi, but Darwin could potentially. And yeah, Ryan Cherki has the here we go has come for City. Now we just need the Florian Wirtz one, bro, so that we can all relax. Leverkusen are overdoing it now. Yeah, Hamza, there's a part of me that does think this is a dangerous situation from Leverkusen, because I don't think we're the type of club where if someone tries to roll on us too much, we're gonna back away. You know what I mean? But I think here it's such a small difference in fee that I'm not worried about it. But I think back to the Zubamendi transfer last summer. He ended up making things so complicated, and that transfer ended up not happening, that I bet you this summer one of the reasons we didn't go back in for him was that reason. The fact that he was so indecisive, and he's someone that wasn't that excited to join Liverpool, and look, now he's off to Arsenal. So we'll see how what goes on, next season with that. But yeah, Emmanuel, I just wanted to get over the line too. Trust me, I feel exactly the same. Train FC says, why are we being so cheap? Bro, are you kidding? Why are we being so cheap? You know how much money this is? That's the first time I've heard that, Train FC. I'm sorry. I understand that we're already paying a lot, but it's only 6 million euros more, and we never make transfer like this. Plus, it proves we're serious about retaining our title. I understand, Train FC, but I think one of the parts of this is we didn't want it to be an all-time Premier League record. I think that's one of the reasons. And like I said before, the total package that we had offered them was around 113 million pounds, which was below the 115 million. That was the all-time record that Chelsea paid for Caicedo. So I think as a statement, we maybe didn't want him to be the all-time most expensive, but it seems like it could go down to being that in the end. Nah, Fetty, I still think it gets done. Leverkusen just need to, bro, they need to understand that Wirtz, they need to understand that Florian Wirtz is desperate for the move. Desperate. Who do you think will be the biggest chance for this summer, bro? It's going to be Wirtz. Like I said, it's going to break all types of records. Bro, you scared me, making me think of a new offer was rejected. No, I mean, yeah, this was the one from the last offer. It's the last offer that they considered and that they ended up rejecting. But now we're going to have to make a new bid. You know what I mean? We're that close to the asking bid that they're looking for. Ollie, nice to see you in the building, who says, Sup, Leo, what's your thoughts on United signing Cunha? Are you disappointed about Liverpool missing out or not? I mean, I think it's a top signing for United. Like, again, I'm not the type to be sour, when a rival club signs a player. I think he's a top player. I mean, look at the goal he scored at Anfield. Incredible. That was with his left foot too, so I think it was his weaker foot. But I think there must have been a reason why we didn't go in for him, because we could have also just triggered that release clause. Clearly we have the money this summer, but we probably didn't see him elevating our team that much. So, nah, I'm not that disappointed that we missed out on it, just because, like I said, I fully trust our team to go for the players that we believe will help us retain that title. And given the price tag wasn't that crazy for Cunha, if we had triggered that release clause, I'm sure he would have chosen Liverpool over United. I'm sorry, but Premier League winners and the place United is in right now. But like I said, I just think it's about finding players that are going to truly elevate you to another level. And I think Florian Wirtz does that, because he doesn't resemble anyone that we have in our current team right now, and we've been missing kind of a player like this. And, watching him from Germany as well, I don't know if you guys got to see him in the Nations League, but I think we got to see why it would be a bit of a waste to play him on the left-hand side. And one of the reasons is on that left-hand side, it doesn't feel like you're getting the best out of him. When he's playing through the middle and he's in those tight spaces and he's opening up and he's playing those beautiful passes through onto the wings. I feel like that's what he's best at, and I wouldn't be surprised if we don't play him on the left wing, because again, if he's going to be a record signing, then I think you kind of build your team around a player like that, because Liverpool so rarely do that. So I don't see us playing him in a position that's not making sure that it's getting the very best out of him, which I think happened a bit with Germany that we just watched during this Nations League. Yo, Garvin, nice to see you in the building. Yes, Jeremy Frimpong, I remember the last one was crazy. Theo's in the building too. What's good? User Gamer says Liverpool cannot back down at this stage. They won against many top clubs and are favorites to get the deal, but Wirtz is very pricey. Yep. But that's just, what you have to go for. That's what you have to go for. Do you think he's world class? How could you say Benjamin Sesko is world class, bro? Look at his numbers. I'm sorry. But he's very young. Could he become world class? Of course, because of how young he is, but you cannot say he's world class right now. Iran, that's what the reports I've seen. That's the reports I've seen. Around that mark is what I'm hearing. Around the 140 million euro mark, which would be a record fee in the Premier League. So it's a ton of money. Elena says, yo, Elena in the building, how are you? And the June festival I mentioned, I danced. It was really cool. Oh, that's awesome. Which striker do you think we need? Bro, I could see us playing a Florian Wirtz in a false 9 type role, in going between the number 10 as well. So let's say it's Soboslai that plays in that midfield 3 in the more attacking, or it's Wirtz. I could see them interchanging. And I think that's one of our plans for this season. I really do think so. We'll have to see. Do you think we'll get the here we go, Curtis James? I think we will. Happy birthday, Hamza. You'll never walk alone. Hopefully for your birthday we get this Wirtz deal over the line. Hopefully. That's Jordan. I'm waiting for reliable sources. If I'm just taking any source that's out there, it's too risky. You know what I mean? Otherwise, I could be making videos like every single hour on just what journalists are saying all over the place, unless it's the trusted ones. Lots of love from France. Do you like Stade Rennais? I mean, Stade Rennais brings incredible talents, and it's a great football club. But do I specifically like that club? No, I'm more Lille in France. Marnus Palmer says, yo, Leo, even though Leverkusen rejected us for the 4th time, I'm still confident we'll get this done because both clubs are desperate for this deal, and so is Wirtz. Next deal, maybe 137 million. Yep. Maybe they're just trying to squeeze out a few more million, which, again, I can understand when it's their star. Big up Noah Erber. Thank you very much. Big up, brother. Thoughts on signing a defender since Virgil's quite old and Konate's in his last year? Well, my main thoughts is priority, get Ibu Konate extended. That's my main one. Seriously. Get Ibu extended is number 1 for me. A total agreement package worth bonkers. I've seen that looking between 140 to 150 million euros. Hopefully, I think 140 million euros will do it. That's what I hope. Yep. Caden edits. I could see that being the case. What about 135 million next? Nah, bro. We gotta up it a little bit more. Do you think Oli Watkins will leave Villa at the end of the season? I'm not so sure, but I definitely don't see him. Yes, Lille, of course. Do you think this type of price will put too much pressure on him? I hope it doesn't. You know what I mean? I hope it doesn't. But again, I think the culture at a football club is such a welcoming one, and it's such a and Slot will know how to handle him, that I think we're gonna put that price tag behind him. You know what I mean? That's just like how crazy the market has become nowadays. That's not the player's fault. It really isn't. You know what I mean? But yeah, he can't be thinking about that price, because imagine for match week 1, if you have that type of price on your shoulders, you'll have to believe that you have to be the match winner so often. You know what I mean? Like for that kind of price, because again, we also never do that ever. Yo, Tommy Max says, met you in Liverpool, bro. Top lad, big up. Big up. Did you watch the final? I only watched bits of it because I was out. I had made plans already. But damn, we should have streamed it because it was a crazy final. Obviously 2-2, then Portugal won on penalties. Is this the third bid that was rejected? Yes, David Sweat. Do you believe Liverpool can win the treble? Of course, bro. Of course. But I'd rather just win the Premier League and the Champions League. That's all I'm focused on for next season. That's it. Patrick, I have a feeling it's going to be this week because we don't want it to drag on for that much longer, and neither does Florian Wirtz. So I think that here we go. If this deal is going to happen, it has to be this week, bro. Our record transfer at the moment, I do believe it's Darwin. But again, even with Darwin, we don't know what the final fee for that is because everybody mentions online, oh, it's 80 million, this and that. But bro, it was only 80 million if you triggered certain installments. And I think there's some installments, like number of appearances, that haven't been triggered yet. So I don't think he's going to end up costing as much as people make him out to be. But yeah, he is our most expensive transfer, Darwin Núñez. So this blows Darwin by a country mile. This by far will become our most expensive transfer. But again, not that surprising given that we haven't spent much in previous windows and the fact that like the market this summer, again, you look at strikers, for example, there's no real top quality options. And I think we've seen Wirtz as one of the few world-class options, or at least on the brink of being world-class. And therefore, we're thinking instead of spending 80 million on a player, it's worth spending 110, but you're guaranteed basically success. You know what I mean? Because of the place the team is at already. You made a vid of Anfield. Yes, Garvit. That's that video I filmed when I was there for the parade. For the parade. Big up Kunj from India. Do you see us getting this before this window closes for both Wirtz and Kirkez? Now I gotta be honest, I'm less confident. Lisa, nice to see you in the building. I'm less confident of that Doué de Rennes goat. Yeah, that's another talent that came from Rennes. But think about Ousmane Dembele too. I remember that famous interview he did. But yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, so the first part of this transfer window, because somehow I don't understand why there's like this separate windows this summer. It makes no sense just for the Club World Cup, which I just don't understand. But yeah, the window closes tomorrow. So do I think we're going to announce Kirkez or Wirtz by then? Obviously, bigger chance of Kirkez, but it seems pretty unlikely at this stage. I don't know. It seems pretty unlikely, I feel like. What do you guys think? Yoon, thank you very much for the super chat, who says, do you think that Jota will stay or leave? I think it all depends on the offer we get in for him, but my personal prediction is he will stay. And the reason I think he'll stay is because I have 3 attackers in mind who I think are more likely to leave. So Darwin, for sure. I just don't see him staying, given there's going to be lots of clubs interested. And the fact that Slot clearly doesn't, rate him for his team. Otherwise, he would have started the last few games at least. Then we have Chiesa, who came out publicly and said he needs minutes ahead of the World Cup next summer. And then third is Lucho, who has a lot of interest, again, from Saudi, from Barcelona, from different places. And the fact that his extension could be costly, and we probably don't want to sell him in his last year of contract because we would sell him for less money. So yeah, for those 3, I think are more likely to leave than Jota. Because Jota, I think, probably is happy being a squad player, and we know we can't get that much money for him, so we're just like happy to have him be part of the team because we know if he's on it, he can be a difference maker. But yeah, my personal prediction is I think he's the 4th favorite attacker to leave, which again makes him not that much of a favorite to leave. So I think he will stay. But again, it all depends on an offer. Let's say Wolves now are finding it difficult to replace Cunha, right? Who they've just sold to Man United, and they put in a bit of 40 million or 35 to 40 million for Jota. I could see us accepting that. You know what I mean? Because we'll believe it's the right time to sell him and everything. So again, it's impossible to predict these things because I truly believe it genuinely just depends on the market opportunity and who goes in for who. But like I said, for me, I do think Darwin, Chiesa, and Lucho, as things are looking right now, look more likely to leave. If I'm looking at our 6 attackers, you know what I mean? But I think we'd be open. I think we'd be open to selling him. That's for sure. If, again, the right offer came in. Which teams do you think will reach the Champions League final? Bro, how could I predict that now? We only just finished this season. Manu says, how do you feel about Portugal winning the Nations League against Spain and Ronaldo winning another international trophy before his last World Cup next year? I mean, Manus, I think it was beautiful. I'm not like this one of the like big Ronaldo lovers and stuff like that, but I thought it was beautiful. I was actually at a bowling alley last night, and I was just watching the game on the side, and I thought that it was beautiful, the scenes of seeing like Ronaldo crying and the emotions you saw, and for him to still be playing at that elite level or being able to operate at that elite level at 40 years old, I think is remarkable. Like, I have so much respect for that. Whether you think Messi's the GOAT, Ronaldo's the GOAT, that's not the question. For me, it's just about respect and acknowledging that no one else is doing that and that it's special. So the fact that he scored in the final as well, people say it's a tap in, this and that, but bro, you still have to be in the right place at the right time, and you have to have the stamina in the game to be ready in that moment. You know what I mean? And that goal ended up being very important. So you have to give him credit, and yeah, I just think if you're a football fan, you have to find that beautiful, because Ronaldo is one of the all-time greats. And again, I don't care if, like I said, for me, Messi is the best I've ever seen in my lifetime, but that doesn't mean I don't have so much respect for Ronaldo. You know what I mean? That it doesn't have to be one or the other, which so many people make it out to be. Like, it has to be this, has to be that, But yeah, Ronaldo is an absolute legend. All time, he's gonna go in the top 5 greatest football players of all time, and it's the sport that's the most played in the world. So imagine, it's probably the thing that people do the most in the world, statistically speaking, and he's in the top 5 of all time of that. Like, imagine how proud you would be to be in top 5 of that thing. You know what I mean? It's remarkable. How much do you think we'll have to pay for Florian Wirtz? My personal prediction is around the 140 million euro mark. I think that's what they're looking for in between. They initially were looking for 150 million, and I think now we'll be able to find somewhere in between for 140 million euros. Or 118 million pounds, for those of you that know pounds. LFC Tyler, nice to see you in the building. Hydrate for here we go tomorrow. I got you, bro. Pavel says, do you think now Liverpool can financially compete with the biggest clubs in the world? Bro, we are right now. It's not can we, it's that we are, because with PSR especially and financial fair play, let's see what ends up happening with 115 plus charges for City. But now you can see that it's strict. It's very, very strict. Like, there's no clubs that can do what City did in the past. And you can see it with Newcastle. Newcastle is technically just as rich, I believe, as City. And look at how carefully they've had to invest since this new ownership. And for me, that tells me that now there's actual regulations in place to make sure that clubs can compete. Otherwise, like I said, I think Newcastle would have signed way more players if they couldn't have gotten in trouble with PSR. So I think that's something to be real optimistic about in the future. And our model of sell to buy, which is pretty much what we've done, fits that. You know what I mean? And we haven't gotten in trouble. So definitely, I think we can compete financially, especially now that it seems like the rules that are in place actually have to be followed. You know what I mean? Because otherwise, like I said, the clubs like Newcastle would have gone way crazier. I know that for a fact. Is there any news on Kirkez? Nothing new, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, because he was left out of the Hungary camp for the next game, and I think that's pretty telling. Oh, NTYK, nice to see you back in the building. What's good? MDD Entertainment, nice to see you back in the building as well. What's good? How's your day been? Oh my god, Michelo, I would die. Do you think the Wirtz deal? Nah, I'm still confident in bike racing that it's going to go over the line. It's going to get over the line. LFC legend, Paul Joyce. The title of the article, it's from Sunday, yesterday, so June 8th. It was in the afternoon that Paul Joyce put this out from the Times. He said, Liverpool's £113 million bid rejected by Leverkusen. Offer, which included £100 million up front, is still short of the German club's £126 million valuation for their star playmaker, who's keen on a move to England. But the negotiations between the two clubs are continuing for the 22-year-old attacking midfielder, and the expectation remains that Wirtz will complete a record-breaking move to Anfield. That's crucial, as you're seeing here. Absolutely crucial. So it's not like the negotiations are broken down. That what would be very worrying, and this is why I'm not stressed. What would be worrying is if the article said something like Liverpool's growing frustrated and they're thinking about pulling out, stuff like that. That's not what it's saying. The negotiations are continuing back and forth. You know what I mean? Dragon Football, thank you very much for your kind message. Go 12. From the reports I've seen, it seems like Harvey doesn't want to go to Leverkusen. Neil Thompson says the second part of the window will all about be sales. I completely agree. Elliott looks like he's likely to leave. Darwin could leave. Kwanzaa potentially. Costas. Gomez, who knows? Yeah, no, I agree. There's quite a few players. Chiesa, I think, could leave. It's going to be very, very... But yeah, Dean, this is what I mean. If you need some optimism, if you guys want some optimism in the building, I'm going to give it to you right now. After this bid was rejected, the negotiations are ongoing. So this just shows Liverpool aren't... It's not like after this rejected bid, Liverpool all of a sudden are like, oh, we can't pay more. We're gonna leave the negotiations. If it says that the negotiations are ongoing, it means that Liverpool wants to continue and just get this done. And like I said, not only does Liverpool want to get this done, Leverkusen have to get this done. Because if they keep him another year and they sell him next summer, they probably get half the money because you'll have 1 year left. So on all sides, bro, and I'm telling you, Florian Wirtz clearly has indicated that all he wants is Liverpool. So on every side, it has to get done pretty much. And now it's just about these little final negotiations, and that's why it's taking longer than usual. You know what I mean? Because we want to get the best possible deal we can, you know, because we probably want to strengthen in other positions too. And of course, Leverkusen want to get the best deal they possibly can because he's their star boy. You know, how often are they going to have players coming around of Florian Wirtz's quality? You know what I mean? They have to raise as many funds as they can. You know what I mean? I think we can go far in the Champions League. Absolutely. I think we can go far. My Memories says, is it worth it waiting for a season? I think that's too risky. My Memories. Because if we wait a season, and let's say, like I said, Leverkusen would be forced to sell him for cheaper next summer because he'd only have 1 year left on his contract. His current contract runs until 2027. Then who knows? A Real Madrid could swoop in. A Barcelona could swoop in because they could then look at the fee and say, oh, 80 million euros? We could do that for such a good player. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think it's too risky to wait a summer. I think Liverpool also has to get this done now because it is an opportunity in the market. Like I said, I don't think there's any other elite players that are actually available in the market this summer, and that's why we're going all in here. Bike Racing says, would you take 50 million for Darwin? No. I think we could live to regret that. I think we need minimum... I was thinking minimum 70 because... like it's clear to see for other teams the raw talent and ability that Darwin has. It just needs to be unlocked and clearly just doesn't fit the Premier League. But I'm so confident that if he went to La Liga, for example, or he went to Italy or some other place, that he could really bang in the goals, and therefore we would really live to regret him leaving for that amount. I mean, look, when Hugo Ekitike is going for 100 million, Darwin has proven, you know, when he's playing for Almeria, that he's a goal scorer. He's proven when he was playing for Benfica that he's a goal scorer, you know? So I think we'd really live to regret if we let him go for that amount, especially the type of prices we're seeing in the striker market this summer. Bro, we cannot let him go for around 50 million. That's too low. AI is predicting City to win the Club World Cup. They're definitely probably the favorites, right? I'd say City, PSG, and Real Madrid are probably the main three, right? They're probably the main three favorites. NG, Szoboszlai will still start. Trust me, Slot's going to find a way to get him into the team as well. Trust me. There's going to be a way. There's a way. Becky says, nah, Real Madrid will win it. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna watch. I'm definitely don't think I'm gonna watch most of the Club World Cup. But let's say the final is like Real Madrid City. I think that would be worth watching. You know what I mean? But we'll see. Chelsea could have an outside chance of the FIFA Club World Cup. I don't think so. Are you guys? By the way, guys in the building, are you guys gonna be watching the Club World Cup, which I believe it's gonna start this weekend? Are you guys gonna be watching it? I'm curious. Because like I said, for me, I'm not going to base my schedule on it or anything like that. But if a massive game arises, especially in the later rounds of the competition, I think it would be fun to still do a stream. But let me know what you guys are thinking for the Club World Cup. TaylorMade says, Wirtz is absolutely a 100 million plus player. You're paying for the potential and massive hole it fills in the side. I mean, to be fair, I think it's almost like a bonus, to be honest. I think it's almost like a bonus. So yeah, a lot of you guys are saying no. It's too late. Except I saw on Sunday the PSG Atletico game isn't that late, actually. Sunny, nice to see you in the building, who says Trent is going to have to play left back at Real Madrid. I have a feeling. Nah, imagine he plays left back. I mean, to be fair, he can cross it with his left foot too. He's very good with both feet. Real will sign Zubamendi, nobody else. Bro, Zubamendi already is going to Arsenal. I watch because of Palmeiras. Yeah, for your Brazilian team. I could understand. Garvit says, I'm rooting for Inter for this competition. I don't know if that's going to be difficult for them. After the blow of the Champions League. Why is Liverpool not in the Club World Cup? Bro, I don't think it's very smart how they've decided who gets in, who doesn't. Because if Liverpool had been in this Club World Cup, there would have been a lot more interest. If they had put Liverpool and Barca in there would have been a lot more interest for this competition. Rodrigo will likely leave to go to City. I think Arsenal really want him too, no? Introvert, nice to see you in the building. What's good? Do you like pancakes? Yeah, I used to love pancakes growing up, but honestly, I probably haven't had a pancake in like 5 years. In so long. But yeah, growing up, I used to love pancakes. Random. That is random. Zubamendi, you think is waiting on Real Madrid? Bro, imagine in the final moment he just changed his mind. Thank God we would have avoided that kind of situation. Jeez. Sonny says, I will definitely be watching the Club World Cup. That group with Atletico and PSG is crazy. Yeah, so maybe on Sunday we do a stream. We'll see. The only thing is it's quite late to kick off. It's at 8 p.m. UK time. Go12 says, I have a gut feeling that River Plate will actually do well in the Club World Cup. Oh, that would be sick to have like an underdog story. That would be good for the competition. So we'll have to see. What's up with Konate's contract, bro? We don't have major updates, unfortunately. We don't. So I hope that we get updates soon, because for me, that has to be one of the priorities. Get Ibu Konate to sign that extension. Garvit says, I can come for PSG Atletico. Maybe we do that then. Let's see. Potentially, if all of you guys would tune in for a PSG Atletico stream on Sunday, then we'll make it happen. But only if you guys would really tune in. Because otherwise, I'm not so sure, honestly, that I would watch it. But if it was with you guys, I would. Favole says, what's up, Leo? Are you worried about what striker we get this summer? Because they're slipping away. I'm not, because, like I said, the type of options I'm seeing out there, I don't want to be spending 100 million on an option that's risky. I just don't. You know what I mean? I would rather maybe for one season play a Florian Wirtz in a false nine or a Soboslai and have Jota as options. And if Darwin can leave, then keep Darwin. I don't know, but to spend 100 million on a player who's had, you know, like on a Hugo Ekitike or a Benjamin Sesko, for me that seems very, very risky. Like genuinely, it does. That I could understand the club being wary of that. You know what I mean? But someone like Wirtz is different, and that's why, like, clearly we've just gone for it. You know, which you rarely see us going for this kind of money. Yo, Tommy, I'm doing well. How are you? Wirtz, one from the best KDB release from the planet. Yeah, TaylorMade. I just hope, like I said, because it's going to be likely going to be a record-breaking fee, that he just doesn't think about the fee and he just naturally plays his football. And I'm confident of it because, like I said, I think Liverpool's the right environment. We're going to create that culture for him to just flourish. And when you see Florian Wirtz flourishing in that kind of central role, again, I don't think it's best to play him on the left wing like we just saw with Germany, then he can dictate the tempo and he can be our main creator. And I just cannot wait to see it because we haven't had a player like that, I would say, since a Bobby Firmino was kind of like that. But I'm thinking of like a Bobby Firmino, Coutinho type that were just all about creating for the team, you know? What about Rafael Leao? Not convinced, bro. I know he has all of the ability to be a top left winger, you know, like the strength, the speed, the dribbling, but it's just in that final third, he doesn't completely convince me, if I'm being honest. And if we're saying not completely convinced in the final third, I'd rather just go for Lucho, who has improved a lot this season, and he's Premier League proven and all that. So if we're saying someone who's not elite in the final third, yeah, I would rather just keep a Lucho. I would. Do you think Darwin will have his best season if he stays? No. The reason I say no is because maybe he could have his best season if Slot looked at him in training and looked at him playing for us this season and he was like, oh, I could see him improving and I want to give him a proper chance. But the reason is why I don't believe in the Darwin project anymore is, like I said, even when we had won the league title, right, which happened end of April against Spurs, if Slot had any kind of hope about keeping Darwin and giving Darwin a chance and thinking that he'd, suit his style or suit his team going forward, then he would have started Darwin in all the final games. I guarantee you he was fit, but he didn't start those games. And for me, that's so telling because, again, if he was central to his plans the following season, then in those games that didn't matter, because, again, we had won the league, he didn't even play him. So I don't personally believe that Darwin will have, like, I just don't see how next season basically he's gonna have more opportunities than he had this season when this previous season Slot couldn't make his own signings yet. It just wouldn't make sense to me. You know what I mean? Jordan, nice to see you in the building. What's good? No name. This bid got rejected. It was an article from Paul Joyce yesterday. And if there's any of you that don't believe, I can literally... Oh, actually, I think I already have a screenshot. Let me try to pull it up. Look. Yeah, it's right here. This is the article I was referring to. For those of you that just want to see, this is the Paul Joyce article. It's from June 8th, so that was yesterday. That news was yesterday. Did you see the Cherki? Here we go. Yep. City have officially signed Ryan Cherki. Yo, LFC Valfire, nice to see you in the building, who says, if this deal somehow fails, would you see us? I don't think it's... there's no... I think we're going all in for Wirtz. We're not going to give up on this. We're not. I really don't see it. Didn't we make another... I haven't seen the most reliable sources say that we made another bid today. So, no. Nah, Omar. I'm confident that we're gonna get over the line. Liverpool fan 01, nice to see you, bro. I think we should make a bid of 100. Bro, that's way too high, MMTD. The current bid was 100 and... Oh, you mean 139 million euros. Okay, that would be different. I heard the fee was agreed already. Average American, we would have heard about it. Trust me. Trust me. Trust me. Are you gonna cover the Club World Cup? Potentially. I'm not so focused on it so far. But if I see that it's great games and stuff, then we could think about doing streams and stuff. I've watched you since the start, and I wanted to say thank you. Thank you, Jason Peng, for the support. I appreciate you. Wirtz is so good, bro, Leo. I know. That's why we're going all in like this. Yeah, Manus, trust me. Especially given that Wirtz only is thinking about Liverpool, I don't see us giving up on it. If we were in some bidding war, which you don't do usually anyways, and the player was reluctant about joining Liverpool, that would be a completely different story. You know? So, Dean, good luck. All the best in your work. See you soon. Hopefully a Here We Go stream will be coming very, very soon. That's what I'm hoping for. Most of all. Hami, I like Xavi Simons. I like Xavi Simons. The problem is it seems like Leipzig are asking for a lot of money for him as well. And he wouldn't give you the kind of guarantee I think that Wirtz does in terms of the consistency Wirtz has shown in the previous 2 seasons. You know? Your guy says, what's the best World Cup you've watched? I feel like I'm too nostalgic. I'm going to say 2006, 2010. I don't know, just because I was a kid. So the nostalgia is so high, you know? But in terms of the best game I've ever watched in the World Cup, there's no doubt it's the last final, France-Argentina. You know, even though I was heartbroken that night, best game I've ever seen at a World Cup. Obviously 3-3, crazy. That game was wild. Train FC, I can't answer that because, like I said, I'm so confident that Liverpool will do whatever it takes for this not to just fall through. I can't think about the breaking through. I really can't. I think this deal is incredible because Coutinho went to an absolute mess of a Barcelona side compared to now where Wirtz goes to a Liverpool project that's very high potential. Yeah, and in a winning culture as well, in a culture that's so welcoming, you know, so he can come in and also, you know, people will say there's so much pressure on him because of the fee and everything, but the reality is there are other star players that are there, specifically Mohamed Salah, you know, like we know he leads us. Look at the amount of times he bailed us out this season. That should continue next season. You know what I mean? We know he's a model professional. We know he's Mr. Consistency. And I love the fact that he can come in and yes, the fee will be astronomical. But at the end of the day, I still think most of us will expect Mohamed Salah to be our match winner or to be our most consistent player in the attacking side of the pitch, you know? So I think that does take off some pressure from Wirtz. I think it would have been completely different had Mohamed Salah, let's say, not agreed a new contract, gone to Saudi, and we would have gone all in on Wirtz and then said, like, we know he has to kind of step up with what we'd lose through Salah leaving, but that's obviously not the case, which I think which is so fantastic because, again, it just puts less pressure on Wirtz. Manu says, for me, the best World Cup was between South Africa 2010, Brazil 2014. Which of those would you say was the best? Bro, I just love World Cups. I have the most nostalgic memories of World Cups because I'm usually watching with my family or with friends, and it's just like I can't pick. I can't pick. I just love them so much and how it brings people from all over the world together. No, Rainer, of course, but that's one of the reasons why we're buying, why we're buying someone like a Wirtz, so we're not completely relying on Mohamed Salah. But the reality is, Salah has proven in all the years he's been in Liverpool that he's gonna guarantee you certain numbers. That's just why he's one of the greatest to ever grace the Premier League, you know. And so for us to guarantee numbers like that and then have a bonus of a Wirtz is huge, so huge. You know what I mean? Chess professional, I'm devastated and sad about Harvey leaving, but the reality is if I was in his position or if I was his agent, I would absolutely understand and also want to go to a club where he's going to get regular minutes. Like he's turning 23 next season. And to just play, I think he played somewhere around 900 minutes this season. That's nowhere near enough if you want to develop into a top player. And he definitely has the ability to develop into a top player. And he has the mentality clearly because he has that work ethic too. So unfortunately, it seems like it's just not going to work out as boyhood club Liverpool. But I wouldn't be surprised if it worked out somewhere else. You know what I mean? Just because of, again, his raw ability and his mentality. You know what's crazy, by the way? If Darwin made that move to Al Hilal, because apparently they want to sign a striker before the Club World Cup, imagine his debut would be against Trent. Because Al Hilal's first game is against Madrid in the Club World Cup. So that would be crazy. Imagine we saw a Darwin against Trent. That would be wild. Liverpool fans 01 says, do you think we go for Arda Güler to replace Salah when Salah eventually leaves? I don't know. It's too early to say. The beautiful thing is, again, with him signing that 2-year extension, it gives our recruitment team, who we know are elite at what they do, the time and patience to find who that next potential superstar could be. And I could see us going for someone low-key, like when we signed Salah back in the day from Roma, which was low-key. A lot of people were doubting it when it happened, and look what he's gone on to do. I think we'll go for something similar like that. No, Ronaldo said yesterday he confirmed that he's staying at the same club that he's at right now. Al Nassr, I think. Or he's staying in Saudi at least. Train FC says, could we not just loan out Harvey Elliott? We've given Kwanzaa chances in the strong back line. The problem, Train FC, is I don't see how, for example, let's say we loan him out for one season and he comes back next season. What really changes with that? I'm not so sure much will change for him next season. Like, why would he suddenly get that much more playing time next season? I don't know. Kamstar, I know it's crazy money, but I do disagree with people that say he's only Bundesliga proven, because I think like you've seen him for when you watch Germany, and for me it's specifically when I watch Germany at the Euros, he's playing against top nations, and for me he's the star for Germany with Musiala. So for people saying that he's only Bundesliga proven, I don't think that's quite fair. I don't think that's fair because, like I said, for me, at the Euros level especially, I remember back then thinking, wow, he's a player. And he's not afraid of the biggest stage because he was just stepping up and performing at that biggest stage. You know what I mean? Yo, Jack Luxton, nice to see you in the building. What's good? Sashi? Sashi? Sasha? Sashi? Yeah. Sashi? Damn. Bye, Garvid. I'll see you soon. We need a Wirtz and Isaac right now, bro. That would be insane. Manus, I don't know. I don't know. I just think Salah will definitely continue to put up big numbers, though. You know? But to break what he did this season, I think will be very difficult. The numbers he put up this season, when you look at his goals and assists, I'm not sure he's going to do that again. Like, if he does that again, I would be shocked because how crazy this season was. You know what I mean? Specifically in the league. Which center back would you buy? John, I would go for either... I think probably Jorel Hato is someone that makes the most sense. But first and foremost, go all in to extend Ibu Konate. Because if you're telling me Ibu Konate leaves for cheap this summer or leaves on a free next summer, and I look at options to replace him, because we talked about this in a previous stream, and I saw the names being mentioned. For me, nobody that people were mentioning were on the level of an Ibu Konate. And that's why I think we must get him extended. I really think we have to do that. You know? All right, you guys. All right. I think this is going to be the end of this stream. It's going to be the end of this stream because I have a feeling that there's going to be major news to break, hopefully in the next 24 hours. Because like I said, specifically related to Darwin, probably. Because if Al Hilal decided that he's their striker they want to sign for the Club World Cup, I think that could move quickly. And we'll know within the next 24 hours. And if something happens, I will go live so we can discuss it together. But yeah, I just wanted to jump on with you guys to discuss this piece of news from yesterday because I was out in the country yesterday, so I couldn't have I've done a stream. But yeah, I just want to leave at least with a positive message for you guys that I do believe we'll get this over the line, even though I know it's frustrating and I know it feels like every day it's similar kind of updates where it's like, are we going to sign him? Are we not? Why is it lagging so much? But it's the fact that on both ends, Liverpool, of course, is trying to get the best possible deal we can now that he's said he only wants Liverpool. And on the other side, Leverkusen, they know he's their elite talent, so they're going to try to raise as many funds as they can. So that's just the situation we're in. But I think, like I said, both clubs and the player want to get this over the line. So I am still confident. I'm not stressed one bit. It just, we have to be patient. You know what I mean? We have to be patient and we'll see. But I'm really not stressed whatsoever. And like I said, I have a feeling we're going to be back live in the building very, very soon. So I appreciate all of you guys tuning in as always and showing that support. And yeah, have a beautiful rest of your night, you guys. And I will see you very, very soon, hopefully for some really positive here we go news. Come